They don't charge extra for nights, weekends, or holidays. Remember the commercials? If water runs through it, they do it. And they're already on their way. So get this monstrosity out of my yard.
On next week's episode of What Not to Do.
A crane? Really?
Ocala's information station, 1370 WOCA.
Ocala.
All right, 7 minutes after 11 o'clock. Thank you for tuning in this Thursday morning. Brittany Marthaler is in the studio, and we're waiting for Dr. Martha Catalina Aragon Lopez. Did I say her name right? When the doctor gets here, she is going to talk to us about the importance of flu vaccines. But while we're waiting, Brittany is with Ocala Health, and they had a couple of groundbreakings yesterday, right?
We did.
So what exactly is happening? It was like 46 beds, I heard, or something like that?
Well, there's a couple different things, and they were on both campuses. So at 9:30, we were doing a groundbreaking over at West Marion, and we are having a 24-bed expansion, and those are medical surgical beds.
Wow.
And we're also adding a cath and special procedures lab to be able to do some cardiovascular procedures over there as well.
And does this increase the number of people, or is this the first time Ocala has had this? The people who can get those procedures. In other words, if somebody wanted that procedure before, would they go to Gainesville or something?
Well, we have it at Ocala Regional, but West Marion, we haven't had those services.
Oh, I
there.
see. Okay.
So
Okay.
the west side of Marion County is going to be able to have those services.
Oh, okay. That makes it a lot easier.
Yeah.
Wow. Isn't that side growing, that part of the town? Just unbelievable. It used to be nothing there just a few years ago.
It is,
right?
yeah.
So and what was the other groundbreaking?
At 11:30, we did a groundbreaking over at Ocala Regional, and we stood on the space that actually is going to be our ICU expansion.
Oh,
so
okay.
we're going from a capacity of 200 beds, which is where we're at right now, to 222 beds.
Wow.
And that ICU unit is going to have a total of 38 ICU beds.
Wow. Growing with the town. The town's growing. The community's growing. Yeah.
Yes.
And that is absolutely amazing because you just finished a previous expansion on Ocala Regional.
Yeah, and we did the whole refacing of the front. This project itself is $45 million expansion at both campuses.
Wow.
I think it's about $30 million relative at Ocala and about 15 over at West Marion. So, but it's really huge. So we're going from 200 to 222 at Ocala, and West Marion's going from 70 to 94. So just growing with the volume and making sure that we're addressing the needs of Marion County.
Yeah.
So it was very exciting. We had the mayor came out, Kevin Sheely with the
He's
CEP.
everywhere. Oh, he's everywhere too.
Yes,
those guys are everywhere.
So it was very exciting.
It's amazing how everybody knows everybody. We're doing this thing with the Queen's Wave that we just did with you, and everybody knows. We all know each other. So we're stuck in this room.
That's the beauty of Ocala and Marion County.
It is. See, we're here, so we know everybody here, which is just me and Robin. And Joe and Dan.
You guys know a lot of people. Yes, see, everybody comes to you.
They do. They come here. Yes. So now we're going out to them. So.
Well, did everybody get a shovel yesterday? Were they all? Everybody had their own shovel.
The CEP brought the ceremonial gold shovels. We had the hard hats and everything, and it really it's a ceremonial thing, and it's not that big of a to do. The big part is now we're getting started on the construction to increase the patient care areas that we have. It's going to add a total of 75 healthcare positions
between the two
facilities. So it's adding jobs, in the long term, and then in the short term, about 175, for construction and for managing the project at a local level.
And how long does the project take?
The longest one is about 24 months. So these will all be completed within the next 2 years. Some of them are going to be a little bit sooner. Some of them will be, like early to mid 2015. So we'll be giving you guys updates for sure as different things come to fruition.
Okay. All right.
And this is really encouraging because the people that are going into the medical field and they need to go to school for a few years and then can start their internships, they'll be able to start them as soon as the building is done.
Yeah, we're We have a lot of good relationships with the local schools.
Is this our doctor?
Yeah, I think so.
Is this no? That maybe not. Maybe not. We're not sure.
Relationships with the local schools. So we have nursing students and things that come in, and they're able to get some firsthand knowledge of patient care and how the healthcare organization works, and get just a real experience.
Oh wow!
So
excellent.
yeah, it's great. So we'll have more for them to do now.
Thank you, Brittany.
Hey, welcome.
Thank you.
And this must be Dr. Martha.
That's me.
Is that you? Okay, and let me try your name, Dr. Martha Catalina Aragon Lopez.
Oh yeah, that's a long one.
But that's the correct one, right? That's it.
Yep.
Well, welcome here, and my name is Larry. This is Robin. Just so you know who we are, and thank you for coming in.
My pleasure.
We're talking about vaccines today, right?
We're talking especially about the flu vaccine, yes.
Just about the flu?
Yep.
Is it still the H1N1 or is it something else?
Well, this year's flu vaccine will include the H1N1, but on top of that, it also includes the trivalent will include another one of the type A influenza vaccine and one of the type B influenza vaccine.
Do we need to know these things? I often think this. When I go just get a vaccine, just let the doctor know. I don't need to know, right?
Well, you need to be informed.
It's good to know.
A little bit of what you're getting, but definitely there's a lot more to it that patients don't need to know.
I bet there is. Yeah.
We've heard things that when people get that flu vaccine, sometimes they get ill.
Well, you can, and it's documented that you can get flu-like symptoms. So you can get a little bit of the symptoms, but you won't get the flu itself from the vaccine. Mm-hmm. So there's a lot of people who will get a little bit of muscle aches and not feeling well for just a day, and it's definitely a lot less than actually getting the flu.
So as we enter September now, or is this the time of year to do this, or do we wait a little bit longer?
Flu season starts around October. So we should have the vaccines available by mid-September, end of September, and then into the whole flu season, which goes all the way until March.
Now, does this happen in the Southern Hemisphere at the same time? Every time we talk about the toilets flush the other way, is there flu season like in the summer?
Yes and no. Yes and no. It totally depends if you're talking about the Southern Hemisphere all the way down, and then they're flipped. Whenever their springtime and winter time comes, that's where for their flu season, that's when it happens. And for those of us who are from the tropic or all the Ecuadorian line, which are where I'm from, originally from
Is that where
Colombia.
you're from? Where are you?
Colombia.
Oh, Colombia.
I'm from Colombia. So we have flu
I've been
season.
to the District of Columbia.
Well, little different. U for an A, though. For an O, though.
I'm sorry.
It's Columbia District, and then ours is Colombia with an O.
Isn't that where David is from, Colombia?
Ecuador.
Oh, Ecuador.
My son-in-law.
Right.
Oh,
He's from Ecuador, yeah.
Yeah, we're very close. So we have kind of flu-like symptoms pretty much all year round in
Really?
Ecuador.
So I would think that someplace that's hot all the time. I guess that's what I had a silly way to ask, but I was wondering if the reason it happens in the winter is because we're indoors more and spreading it more.
The spreading, it gets a little bit higher when we're indoors because flu transmits itself through droplets, what we call droplets, which means anyone who has the flu coughs or sneezes, then you spread out everything right there. It stays in the air, and when you breathe it in, then that's how you get infected pretty much.
Now, how do you keep track of people that have allergies and things like that? If someone has an allergy, are they able to take the flu vaccine?
There should not be a problem. There used to be a thought about egg allergy and getting the flu shot because the virus gets developed in eggs pretty much, an embryo egg. Yes.
Oh, really?
So anyone who had an egg allergy was supposed not to be taking the flu shot. But now they've shown, and the CDC has studied this for a while, that even though they developed the virus in the egg itself, the possibility of someone having an egg allergy and getting a flu shot and actually developing an allergic reaction to it, it's very low. So the only recommendation that we give to anyone who has an egg allergy is that you get the flu shot in a center where they'll be able to respond in case you develop an allergy, which is very rare that it actually happens. And that you at least stay in that place for at least 30 minutes so that we can watch you and make sure that you don't develop any reaction to it.
Anybody who should not get the vaccine? Pregnant ladies, maybe?
Pregnant ladies should not get the live vaccine because there's a live vaccine and there's a killed vaccine, if we want to call it that way.
Oh, really?
Yeah, there's
I want the dead one. I don't want the live one.
The nasal one is a live attenuated virus, which they make the virus less virulent, less aggressive, and that's the one you get, and then your immune system responds to it. And there's the killed virus, which is the shots that we get. So pregnant ladies should not get the live one. They can get, and they should get, the shot without a problem. The only ones who should not get the vaccine is younger than 6 months. After you're 6 months old, then you're good for the flu shot.
And that's every year?
It's every year, yes.
Now, how is that? Is the live vaccine administered through the nose?
Yeah, it's a nasal spray.
Oh, okay.
It's a nasal spray. Not all the places have it available because it's really rare and we don't use it that much because you have the same immunity with a shot and it's easy to store and it's easy to administer and it's easy to give it to a patient and tell them, listen, this is a dead virus you're getting, you're not going to get a problem, than to tell someone, okay, you're getting a live virus. And
yeah.
So it's
scary.
Yeah, kind of.
So if I never have had this vaccine and...
Me neither.
So tell me, I mean, if I had the flu, like let's say last year, I think I did, didn't I? I think we all did in the radio station. Everybody did.
Yeah, we did last
year. Did we develop the immunity that the vaccine would have given us?
Unfortunately, flu viruses are so many that you got immunity to that specific virus.
I love the way you talk, by the way. So many.
I'm sorry.
No, that's great. That's great. You're like an actress.
So the thing is that you get immunity to that specific virus, but you can still get...
There's lots of them.
Yes.
Where do they come from?
Nobody knows.
Just one of those things. But it's amazing that the doctors and the scientists can figure it out, isn't it? It's amazing that you can kill them and know that they're dead.
Well,
right?
Yep.
Well, how do they know? And they dead. And what's the science behind that? You have a dead bug going into your body, and your body fights it, but it's dead. You can't do anything back.
Well, because your immunologic system, what it responds is not the virus itself, but to the proteins that it has on the outside. So that's the antigen that we get. The virus itself is not it's not the antigen, but the proteins that it has outside. So we create antibodies against those antigens that live outside the virus. So what we give you is the proteins that are outside with the dead virus so that your body actually fights those proteins. So whenever you get in contact with those antigens again, then your body already has the antibodies to fight against them.
I gotcha.
Now, what is the shelf life on that? Because I know a few years ago we heard that the flu vaccine ran out. They couldn't manufacture anymore, and then people just had to do without the shot. How long can you stockpile it before you have to discard it?
It depends on who of the pharmaceutical company that creates them, and they all have an expiration date on it. So it can range completely wildly, so we can't tell you exactly what it is. It totally depends on who makes it that year and brings it out, and they'll have an expiration date on it.
And if visitors come here from overseas, can they get the flu vaccine, or do they have to have something special from their doctors in their country?
No, they can get it. Flu vaccines is the same here than it is in New Zealand or Colombia or whatever.
Okay.
Dr. Martha Catalina Aragon Lopez is in the studio with us. You're laughing. What should I say? Should I just say Dr. Martha? What should I? How do people know? How do you introduce yourself normally?
I don't.
You don't introduce yourself?
I don't use my first name.
Oh, you don't? So you're Dr. Catalina.
Catalina Aragon, pretty much, yeah.
Just
that's easier and shorter.
It's pretty too. It's all pretty. It's all pretty. The one thing I wanted, well, two things. Do you want listeners to call in with questions? Maybe?
Sure.
Okay. So I'll make the phone lines available. If you want to call in, the number is 622-WOCA. The one question I have is, okay, I go to a pharmacy and there's a sign outside, vaccines. I say to Robin, why would I do this? I mean, it's like going to a convenience store. No offense to the pharmacies, but am I wrong about this? I mean, wouldn't it be better to go to a doctor?
Definitely before you get any type of treatment, you should be evaluated by a doctor. Any type, including vaccines.
So what have you thought about the ones in the pharmacies?
So this is what happens. If you go to your doctor and your doctor tells you, okay, you can have your flu shot, you can have it whatever you want to have it. So if you want to go to the pharmacy after you've been evaluated by your doctor, then that's perfectly fine.
Wouldn't the doctor have it though, or no?
Most of them do, but not all of them. Not
Okay.
all offices.
Okay, so he might say, and I'm not picking on one pharmacy over another, but let's say he says, CVS on the corner, Walgreens on the corner, they've got it, and I can't name the other pharmacies, I guess, I don't know them all, but go next door, they're doing it, right? And we're okay, as long as he says it's okay.
Yes.
All right. And it's not all needles, though. It's sometimes nasal?
The live vaccine is the nasal one, and then the rest of them we have intramuscular, which is a longer needle, and then a subcutaneous one that is a little short needle. Both of them were really tiny needles, really thin, so you won't feel them that much.
And what if a person has diabetes? Is this safe for
It's
a
actually
diabetic?
recommended for diabetics because there are higher risk of developing complications from the flu. So we actually strongly recommend it on those kind of patients.
And I'm guessing, because I'm not a doctor, that if you have an immune deficiency, right? If you've got like AIDS or something like that, or...
They still can get it.
They still can?
Yes, under direct supervision from a doctor.
Really?
AIDS patients and cancer patients should first be seen by their ID doctor or their oncologist before they can get it, but usually they will still recommend it and they give it to
really?
them.
Can a person get a flu shot in like the beginning of summer and then not have to worry about it till next year, or should they get another one during the winter months when it comes up?
The ones you get around September, October should cover you for the whole year, but if you get it around summer, which is rarely available, but if you actually find them, you should still get it in October.
Oh, okay.
So let me tell you something I heard once, and tell me if this is true. Somebody gets a vaccine, and they've got a friend in the hospital or a friend in a nursing home, and they'll say, I can't visit you for a week because I just got the vaccine. I don't want to spread it to you. I've got to wait till it does what it does.
It is true with the live, not with the shot.
So if you get the live one,
then you shouldn't
stay away from the hospital for, what, a week or so?
Just a few days.
Few days.
Just a few days, and then you should.
Because you're literally carrying it around.
Correct.
Well, that would mean that your family could get it too, right? So the whole family should get the vaccine at the same time.
The whole family should get it. If you're getting the live one, should get it at the same time. But the possibility of someone healthy without any medical issues getting it from you just because you got the shot, or the nasal one, it's very low. But we tend to tell patients and people to just stay away from hospital just because they're more sensitive because they're in the hospital.
Okay. Dr. Catalina Aragon is in the studio. She got two more names. I have a name too. My name is really Lawrence. Did you know that?
I had no idea.
Did you know that?
No, I didn't.
Yeah, it's a lot. Yeah, I don't like it either. I'm okay with it. Like when when the policeman stops me, and I say, "Well, you don't really know me. You're looking at my license. If you knew me, you'd say Larry." Well, we have a phone call, doctor. So if you could put the headset on, you'll be able to hear the caller. And let me push the button here. Thank you for calling and for waiting. You're on the air with Dr. Aragon.
Yes. Good morning, doctor.
Good morning.
If you've been diagnosed of having the flu, and you go through the course of the flu and you get better, should you still go out and get a flu shot?
Yes, you should, because again, like I was telling before, you will get immunity to that specific virus that you got at the moment that you got the flu, but then you won't get covered for the rest of them. And the trivalent has two other ones. There's one that has 4, and there's one that actually has 5 different viruses in them, and that will give you coverage for most of them.
Thank you.
Sure.
All right, good question. So there was a couple of years ago, I think, where they ran out. And, you can't come and get them anymore. We ran out. And there was all these news stories. Where is the vaccine manufactured, and how did we run out? Could it happen again?
It could. It definitely could happen again, because it's all dependent on the pharmaceutical companies. So Merck does them, and I think Lilly does them, and there's plenty of pharmaceutical companies that actually create the vaccine itself. So if they don't create a big stock, we could run out of them. It sort of depends on how people are. part of their way of making money, if you want to call it that way. So it depends on how available
Right.
it's going to be for the rest.
So how
of
much
it.
is it to get a vaccine?
That I'm not sure.
Is it covered by insurance? Does anybody know?
I think it depends on the insurance plan that you have. I think that a lot of them do, but I can't speak to that directly.
Can a person get the flu after getting the vaccine? I mean, not cost from the vaccine, but if it's like a month down the road, can they get the flu?
They can still get a different virus, but because you already had the vaccine, you should get a very minor flu, if you want to call it that way. Like, your symptoms will be a lot less. You will not feel as sick. You will not. It's a lot less symptomatic.
And should parents give their children, because you said they shouldn't have them before 6 months old, but then every year should the children get it after
Yes.
6 months old?
Yes, every year they should get it.
And the pediatricians agree with
Recommended,
that?
and they have it usually in stock in their office. Most pediatricians, because those are the ones that give it even the most.
Oh, okay.
Did you have a hard time finding us?
A little, yes. I just got here from New York, so
We're from New York. We're in New York.
I was living in Bayshore, Long Island.
Oh, okay. I know the area. That's where my grandmother was in a nursing home in Bayshore. I lived in Merrick. I grew up on the South Shore.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, Bayshore is part of the South Shore as well.
Yeah.
So
We had one of the questions that said, will this season's vaccine be a good match for circulating viruses? Are there viruses called circulating viruses, or is there a different meaning to that?
circulating viruses is what the CDC, which is the Control for
Centers?
Disease, for disease in Atlanta. They'll study which viruses were last year, what is the possibility of their mutation and changing into new viruses, because that's what happens. They mutate, they change, and now they're a new, different virus. And with their statistical and all their resources, they'll say, this is the possibility of the viruses that are going to come, and we should vaccinate people with this and this and that so that we can cover
Isn't
them.
it amazing?
It's crazy.
I mean, it's actually a living thing, isn't it? It's like a little animal, right?
Yep, it's a living.
So another question: when I die, you couldn't talk to God, right? When you die, I'm going to say, what is the deal? Why did you make these things?
Yeah.
I mean, I got mosquitoes. I got to ask about mosquitoes. I got to ask about germs. I mean, what? Nothing eats them, right?
Well, our immune system kills them.
What's that, like hunting season? It's there's nothing eats them.
They're ready for them.
So what is your day normally like? Obviously, you don't do radio shows every day.
No, definitely not.
And I'm guessing vaccines is not something you normally talk about for 20 minutes long.
Not really. Not really. Well, my regular day starts with I have a 5-month-old. So
okay. Well, good for you.
So he'll get his shot soon.
Yeah.
But my day starts with him around 6 in the morning when he wakes up, and then go to work, see my patients. I work at primary care specialist in 17th Street. So I'll start seeing patients around 7:45 in the morning, and then until noon. Then after that, I go home, go see my kid, grab something to eat in the run, and then go back and start seeing patients for the rest of the afternoon. Then the rest I'll see patients to around 5 p.m. Then after that, back home to my kid and my husband.
Yeah,
Wow.
well, good for you. Well,
Your
nice to meet
patients are
you.
lucky.
Nice meeting you too.
Brittany, do we need information, phone numbers, and all that?
Yes, if you would like to contact Dr. Aragon's office, like she said, is on 17th Street. It's 352-732-5365.
Okay.
If you would like a physician referral, our free referral line is 800-530-1188. That is our free consult nurse referral line.
All right. Brittany, you are as sweet as ever. Thank you so much for coming in and doing
Thank
our
you for
little
having us.
Queen's Wave.
Absolutely.
You're helping us
Anything
raise
I can do to help.
awareness. We can ask the doctor when we're done if you'll do the Queen's Wave. You do it? Oh, was that a yes? I love your face.
She's nervous now.
Dr. Martha Catalina Aragon Lopez, MD, also known as Dr. Catalina Aragon. Nice to meet you. Thank you so much for coming in and doing this with us.
Well, thank you for having me. It was a pleasure.
And we'll
you.
come back anytime.
Thanks a lot.
All right. Thank you, ladies. Thank you both.
Thank you.
We'll be right back.
Hi, I'm Yvette, and I'm here to tell you a few things about ABC Frederick's Appliance. They sell not only new, but used guaranteed appliances. When you call ABC Frederick's Appliance, they will provide service